Kirk Frost, the reality TV star we all thought we knew, is now lying in an ICU bed, and fans are left in absolute shock. Rumors are swirling like wildfire across social media, and the internet is exploding with questions. How did this happen? Who is responsible? The answer that no one saw coming is none other than young Jock, the rapper turned reality TV provocateur, whose shocking attack has left Kirk fighting for his life. Eyewitnesses claim that what started as a heated confrontation backstage at a private event quickly escalated into chaos, leaving everyone stunned and scrambling for answers. Rasheeda, Kirk's longtime partner, was reportedly at the scene when it all went down, and her heartbreak is now making headlines everywhere. She was seen breaking down in tears, unable to contain her emotions as she whispered to friends, "I can't believe this is happening. How could he do this?" Fans are flooding her social media with messages of support, while speculation runs rampant about what could have provoked such a violent outburst. Some insiders are claiming there was a hidden feud between Kirk and young Jock that had been simmering for months, with unresolved grudges, jealousy, and even betrayal bubbling just beneath the surface. The drama doesn't stop there. Reports suggest that the altercation may have involved more than just words and anger. Some say there was a physical struggle that left Kirk critically injured. Family members are divided, friends are panicking, and fans are demanding answers, creating a storm of emotions that no one could have anticipated. Tonight, we'll break down the shocking details of the attack, explore the reactions of everyone involved, and dive into the twists and turns of this unfolding reality TV nightmare. From whispered secrets to explosive confrontations, the story is more tangled and more dramatic than anyone could have imagined. And one thing is clear: the fallout from young Jock's actions will be felt for weeks, if not months, to come. Kirk Frost's world, once filled with the glitz and glamour of reality TV stardom, suddenly turned into a whirlwind of chaos and heartbreak the night young Jock unleashed a shocking attack that has fans and insiders reeling. The night had started like any other at a high-profile Atlanta event, with cameras flashing, music booming, and the city's elite mingling in anticipation of an unforgettable evening. Kirk had arrived looking confident, dressed impeccably, exuding the charm that made him a household name, unaware that his night would take a dark and twisted turn. Sources reveal that young Jock, who had been seated at a nearby VIP table, was already simmering with tension. Eyewitnesses say the feud between Kirk and Jock had been quietly brewing for months, rooted in a combination of professional jealousy, personal grievances, and rumors that had circulated about betrayal within their mutual circles. As Kirk moved through the crowd, greeting friends and fans, Jock reportedly exchanged heated whispers with associates before finally storming toward Kirk. Emotions ran high as onlookers noticed the tension, some sensing an impending explosion but unable to predict just how violent it would become. According to a source close to the situation, Kirk initially tried to defuse the confrontation with calm words, attempting to remind Jock of their shared history and mutual respect. "I don't want any trouble tonight," Kirk allegedly said, his tone measured but firm. Jock, however, seemed consumed by anger, his voice rising as he accused Kirk of slights, betrayals, and behind-the-scenes manipulations that had never been publicly acknowledged. The crowd around them grew restless, fans holding their breath, cameras capturing every second of the drama as it escalated. Rasheeda, who had been mingling with friends nearby, reportedly noticed the tension immediately. Her instincts told her something was wrong, and as she moved closer, she saw the confrontation turn from verbal to physical in the blink of an eye. Security attempted to intervene, but Jock's aggression was sudden and overwhelming, leaving little time for anyone to react. Witnesses describe a scene of chaos, chairs knocked over, shocked screams, and Kirk being pushed against a wall, his usual composure replaced by surprise and panic. The attack, though brief, was intense, leaving Kirk with injuries severe enough to require immediate hospitalization. Rasheeda's reaction was immediate and visceral. She reportedly rushed to Kirk's side, trying to shield him and pleading with Jock to stop, tears streaming down her face as she shouted, "This isn't you. Please, don't do this." The incident sent shockwaves not only through the event but across social media platforms as news of Kirk's hospitalization spread like wildfire. Fans inundated Rasheeda's accounts with messages of support, concern, and disbelief, many expressing outrage at Jock's alleged actions. The family was left divided, with some members criticizing Kirk for allegedly provoking Jock, while others blamed Jock entirely, labeling the attack as unprovoked and shocking. As Kirk was rushed to the ICU, doctors reportedly confirmed that his condition was serious, though stable, prompting an outpouring of emotional reactions from friends, family, and inside sources reveal that Rasheeda, despite her public composure, was privately devastated. Friends close to her say she has not stopped crying since the incident, grappling with guilt, fear, and a profound sense of helplessness. She reportedly confided in close allies, saying, "I should have seen it coming. I should have protected him." Meanwhile, speculation about the cause of the attack intensified. Some insiders claim that the conflict had deeper roots than anyone realized, pointing to rumors of business betrayals, accusations of disloyalty, and even jealousy over Kirk's personal and professional achievements. Fans began piecing together social media posts, private messages, and past incidents, trying to unravel the tangled web that led to this explosive confrontation. The night's drama didn't end with the attack itself. According to attendees, the fallout was immediate and intense. Security struggled to maintain control as the crowd reacted with a mix of fear, anger, and curiosity. Some fans reportedly tried to confront Jock, while others rushed to check on Kirk, creating a chaotic scene that left everyone on edge. Celebrities and reality TV insiders took to social media to voice their shock and concern. Posts ranged from heartfelt messages of support for Kirk to speculation about the motivations behind Jock's sudden outburst. The incident dominated trending topics, with hashtags related to the attack appearing on multiple platforms within minutes. Backstage, Rasheeda was reportedly inconsolable. Friends describe her pacing, sobbing, and repeatedly asking for updates on Kirk's condition. Her heartbreak was compounded by the public nature of the incident, as every reaction, every tear, and every whispered word seemed to be scrutinized by millions of fans worldwide. As the night wore on, tensions between the families involved reportedly escalated. Sources close to the situation claim that phone calls, heated texts, and even threats were exchanged between Kirk's family and Jock's entourage, further inflaming the situation and adding layers of complexity to an already dramatic narrative. The incident also had immediate implications for Kirk's professional life. Reality TV producers and network executives reportedly held emergency meetings, discussing how to handle the fallout while ensuring Kirk's health and safety. Some insiders suggest that the attack could lead to a hiatus from filming, while others speculate about possible legal action and contractual disputes arising from the incident. Social media commentary continued to fuel the fire, with fans analyzing video snippets, photos, and eyewitness accounts. Some speculated about past betrayals and rumored rivalries, while others focused on the emotional impact, particularly Rasheeda's visible heartbreak and the shock expressed by Kirk's closest friends. Throughout the chaos, Kirk reportedly remained conscious enough to communicate briefly with medical staff, expressing concern for his family and disbelief at the situation. Eyewitnesses say he kept asking, "Why would he do this?" highlighting the personal and emotional stakes involved. Meanwhile, young Jock's response was reportedly mixed. Sources claim he alternated between denial, defensiveness, and attempts to justify his actions, creating further tension and confusion among those close to the situation. Legal advisors and publicists have since become involved, navigating a complex web of public relations, potential criminal charges, and the ever-present scrutiny of fans and media outlets. Friends close to Kirk describe a scene of emotional devastation, with co-stars visiting the ICU, sending messages of support, and trying to offer comfort to both Kirk and Rasheeda. The intensity of the emotions involved was palpable, with some friends reportedly breaking down themselves, unable to witness the aftermath of the shocking attack. As the night unfolded, additional details emerged about the confrontation. Some sources claim that Jock had been planning the attack for weeks, fueled by mounting resentment and personal grievances that had been carefully concealed from the public. Others suggest that the attack was spontaneous, a result of a heated exchange that escalated beyond anyone's control. Regardless of the cause, the impact on Kirk, Rasheeda, and everyone involved was immediate and profound. By the early hours of the morning, the incident had dominated headlines, trending across social media, and sparking debates among fans, reality TV commentators, and celebrities alike. The emotional fallout continued as interviews with witnesses revealed differing perspectives, each adding new layers of drama, speculation, and intrigue to the story. For Rasheeda, the personal toll was immense. Sources close to her claim she spent hours by Kirk's side in the ICU, holding his hand, whispering words of encouragement, and trying to stay strong despite her own fear and heartbreak. Her emotional vulnerability, captured in moments by paparazzi and fans nearby, only fueled the public's fascination and empathy. Family members reportedly clashed behind the scenes, some blaming Jock, others expressing frustration at perceived lapses in judgment by Kirk, and some questioning whether deeper family dynamics had contributed to the explosive situation. As the morning approached, the story was far from over. Legal teams prepared for potential action, publicists drafted statements, and fans continued to dissect every detail, from eyewitness accounts to cryptic social media posts that hinted at ongoing tension between the parties involved. The night's events left a lingering sense of uncertainty and suspense. Questions about Kirk's recovery, Jock's motivations, and the ultimate resolution of the conflict remained unanswered, keeping the drama alive and the public captivated. In the midst of it all, one thing was clear: the landscape of Kirk's world had been irreversibly altered. Relationships were strained, trust had been shattered, and the reality TV community was left grappling with a shocking display of violence that no one could have anticipated. As the hours passed, more voices joined the conversation, from two industry insiders, each offering their own perspective on the night's events. Some emphasized the unexpected nature of the attack, others highlighted the emotional toll on Kirk and Rasheeda, and still others speculated about potential long-term consequences, both personal and professional. The unfolding narrative painted a complex picture of rivalry, jealousy, loyalty, and betrayal. With emotions running high and stakes escalating by the minute, Rasheeda's visible distress and the family's divided reactions added layers of human drama. Making the incident more than just a sensational headline, it became a story of personal pain, fractured relationships, and the unpredictable consequences of conflict in the public eye. The aftermath of young Jock's shocking attack on Kirk Frost continued to unravel like a storm that refused to subside, leaving a trail of chaos, heartbreak, and intense speculation in its wake. As Kirk remained in the ICU, friends and family members juggled fear, anger, and an overwhelming need for answers, each moment seeming more dramatic than the last. Rasheeda, still reeling from the initial shock, reportedly spent countless hours at Kirk's bedside, her emotions oscillating between panic, despair, and a fierce determination to support the man she had stood by for years. "I can't lose him," she was overheard saying to a close friend, her voice quivering with raw emotion. Meanwhile, social media erupted with theories, leaked screenshots, and supposed insider accounts, creating a frenzy that blurred the line between fact and fiction. Fans were dissecting every detail, from Jock's previous public comments to cryptic posts allegedly from Kirk, trying to piece together what had led to such an explosive confrontation. Eyewitnesses described a scene of unprecedented drama in the hours following the attack. Security footage, albeit limited, hinted at the intensity of the altercation, showing Jock advancing toward Kirk with a visible edge of anger, while Kirk attempted to shield himself, his usually calm demeanor replaced by shock and alarm. The physical struggle, brief yet violent, had left Kirk with injuries that were not only visible but severe enough to demand immediate and intensive medical attention. Inside the ICU, the emotional toll was just as palpable as the physical injuries. Rasheeda reportedly held Kirk's hand through the night, whispering reassurances, her tears soaking his hospital gown, as doctors and nurses moved efficiently around them. Friends visiting the hospital spoke of the tension in the air, the quiet desperation that hung over the room, and the palpable fear that Kirk's condition could worsen. Meanwhile, young Jock's camp remained tight-lipped initially, fueling a swirl of speculation. Some sources claimed Jock was attempting to justify his actions, painting the incident as a spontaneous eruption of frustration built up over months of tension, while others suggested a premeditated motive rooted in jealousy and resentment. As the night progressed, the drama spilled beyond the hospital walls. Kirk's family reportedly held emergency meetings, their emotions running high, debating how to handle media inquiries, potential legal action, and the very public spectacle that had erupted from a private conflict. Some family members expressed outrage at Jock, labeling his actions as reckless and unprovoked, while others grappled with the notion that Kirk's own behavior may have inadvertently contributed to the escalation. Friends close to Kirk described frantic phone calls, heated text messages, and a wave of emotional breakdowns as the news spread. Co-stars from the reality series reportedly visited the ICU, offering support, sharing their shock, and attempting to stabilize the narrative in the media. Meanwhile, Rasheeda's vulnerability became a focal point for fans and paparazzi alike, capturing her heartbreak in moments that were shared widely across social media, evoking empathy and fueling speculation. As the incident dominated headlines, the public became increasingly invested in the personal and professional stakes. Rumors swirled about Jock's motivations, with some claiming a long-standing rivalry over business deals and alleged betrayals, while others suggested a personal vendetta rooted in jealousy over Kirk's success and relationships. The tension was not confined to private circles. It spilled into online forums, live streams, and talk shows, where fans, commentators, and insiders debated every angle. Eyewitness reports continued to surface, some claiming that the altercation involved not just words but an unexpected physicality that had caught everyone by surprise. Others alleged that Jock had been emboldened by a circle of friends who encouraged confrontation, adding a layer of premeditation to the narrative. The emotional stakes for Rasheeda were compounded by conflicting reports, some suggesting Kirk had been subtly aware of Jock's brewing resentment, while others emphasized that the attack was sudden and unpredictable. Her response, caught between grief, fear, and the need to publicly maintain composure, became a dramatic subplot in its own right. The social media frenzy only intensified as influencers, fans, and other reality TV personalities weighed in, speculating on the future of Kirk and Rasheeda's relationship, the potential legal consequences for Jock, and the broader implications for their shared network. Comments ranged from heartfelt support to harsh judgment, creating a polarizing atmosphere that mirrored the chaos of the actual event. Meanwhile, legal teams reportedly began reviewing the circumstances, assessing possible criminal charges, and preparing for public statements. Sources suggest that Jock's legal representation was already strategizing damage control, while Kirk's team was focused on securing justice and protecting his personal and professional reputation. The ripple effect extended into the production world as well. Producers of Kirk's reality series held emergency meetings to evaluate the impact on filming schedules, contractual obligations, and public relations. Some suggested temporary pauses or rewrites to upcoming episodes, while others debated whether to incorporate the real-life drama into the show. A strategy often employed in reality television to captivate audiences, but fraught with ethical and emotional complications. Friends and family reportedly struggled with conflicting advice, trying to balance concern for Kirk's well-being with the demands of public scrutiny. Tensions flared behind closed doors as loved ones debated how to navigate media requests, fan expectations, and the moral complexities of sharing or withholding information. Amid this turbulence, Rasheeda's emotional state remained fragile. Close friends described sleepless nights, frantic calls to medical staff for updates, and private moments of despair where she questioned the safety, loyalty, and intentions of those around her. Her visible distress became emblematic of the incident's human toll, turning what might have been a private health emergency into a public spectacle fraught with intense emotion. As details continued to emerge, conflicting narratives complicated the story further. Some witnesses claimed that Jock had attempted to provoke Kirk earlier in the evening, with subtle jabs and pointed comments designed to escalate tension. Others insisted that Kirk had been unaware of the brewing storm until it was too late, making him a victim of a sudden, unprovoked attack. The truth seemed elusive, layered with hearsay, speculation, and emotional bias, creating a narrative that was as dramatic as it was complicated. The physical and emotional repercussions of the attack remained at the forefront of public attention. Fans flooded Kirk's and Rasheeda's social media pages with messages of support, empathy, and outrage. Celebrities and reality TV personalities issued statements, some expressing solidarity, others critiquing the escalation of private disputes into public spectacles. The intensity of public interest amplified the pressure on all parties, adding layers of stress, scrutiny, and expectation that only deepened the emotional complexity of the situation. Sources close to Kirk reported that despite his injuries, he maintained a fighting spirit, expressing concern for Rasheeda's well-being and disbelief over Jock's actions. "I just can't understand it," he allegedly told a friend while in the ICU, his voice tinged with pain and frustration. Meanwhile, Jock's camp remained relatively silent publicly, though insiders claimed he oscillated between defiance and regret, a duality that further fueled speculation and debate. Backstage, the relationships between friends, family, and co-stars were tested as alliances shifted and hidden tensions surfaced. Some who had been neutral found themselves drawn into heated arguments, while long-standing friendships were strained. Under the weight of public scrutiny and private fear, every conversation, text message, and phone call seemed to carry immense weight. As everyone grappled with the shock, anger, and uncertainty surrounding the attack. As the hours passed, the complexity of the narrative deepened. Rumors about past betrayals, unresolved grudges, and unspoken conflicts emerged, each adding to the drama and fueling speculation about possible motivations, future confrontations, and the long-term impact on Kirk's personal and professional life. The stakes were high. The story had evolved from a singular act of violence into a multifaceted saga involving emotional, legal, and professional implications, each interwoven with public fascination and media attention. The night's events left the community in a state of heightened emotion, with fans divided between sympathy, outrage, and curiosity. Social media commentary ranged from heartfelt messages to speculative theories, with some suggesting that this incident could redefine the dynamics of reality TV drama, setting a precedent for how conflicts are perceived, reported, and sensationalized. Throughout it all, the central figures Kirk, Rasheeda, and Jock remained at the heart of the storm. Kirk's health, Rasheeda's emotional resilience, and Jock's motivations became focal points for discussion, debate, and speculation. The human element, with all its raw emotion, vulnerability, and complexity, ensured that the story resonated far beyond the immediate circle of those directly involved. As the sun rose on the morning following young Jock's shocking attack, the aftermath continued to ripple through Kirk Frost's world, leaving everyone involved reeling from a night that would forever alter their lives. The ICU remained a focal point of tension and emotion, with medical staff reporting that, while Kirk's condition was stable, the physical trauma he had endured was significant enough to require continuous monitoring. Rasheeda, exhausted but determined, refused to leave his side. Her presence both a source of comfort and a visible testament to the depth of her emotional investment. "We'll get through this together," she reportedly whispered repeatedly, her voice thick with tears, holding his hand as though her touch could shield him from the pain inflicted by Jock's sudden and violent actions. Meanwhile, the media frenzy showed no signs of abating. Social media feeds, live streams, and online forums were flooded with updates, eyewitness accounts, and speculation about what had triggered the attack. Fans were combing through every available detail, from security footage to cryptic Instagram posts, attempting to reconstruct the chain of events that had escalated a private feud into a highly publicized confrontation. In the midst of this chaos, conflicting narratives began to emerge. Some insiders painted Jock as a calculated aggressor, motivated by jealousy, perceived slights, and long-standing resentment toward Kirk's professional and personal success. Others suggested that the attack was spontaneous, the result of a heated, verbal exchange that escalated beyond anyone's control. Regardless of the interpretation, the consensus among witnesses was clear: the violence was sudden, shocking, and completely unexpected. Within Kirk's inner circle, emotions ran high. Friends and family members reportedly clashed behind closed doors over how to respond, with some advocating for legal action, others urging caution and privacy, and still others navigating the treacherous waters of media management and public perception. Allegiances shifted, secrets were whispered, and the once unified support network surrounding Kirk and Rasheeda became a stage for heightened tension. As the personal and public stakes intertwined in increasingly complicated ways, Rasheeda's vulnerability remained a central narrative thread. Close friends revealed that she experienced moments of intense despair, questioning how someone she had known for years could commit such a violent act. "It's unreal. I keep thinking it's a nightmare," she reportedly confided to a trusted confidant, her voice cracking under the weight of grief and fear. Yet, despite her heartbreak, Rasheeda displayed remarkable resilience, organizing updates for fans, coordinating with Kirk's medical team, and attempting to maintain a sense of stability for both her family and the public, even as private moments of despair persisted. Social media attention amplified every aspect of the unfolding drama. Clips of the confrontation, images of the ICU, and speculative commentary spread rapidly, fueling debate and emotional investment among fans. Hashtags related to Kirk's condition, Jock's actions, and Rasheeda's heartbreak trended across multiple platforms, creating a feedback loop that intensified both scrutiny and public concern. Online communities dissected every possible angle, whether Kirk could have predicted the attack, what Jock's motivations truly were, and how the incident would affect ongoing reality TV projects and personal relationships. Meanwhile, young Jock's response remained carefully controlled. Though insiders suggested a complex interplay of defiance, denial, and subtle attempts at justification. Some sources claimed he oscillated between acknowledging regret and defending his actions as a reaction to perceived provocations, a duality that only deepened public fascination and debate. The legal landscape surrounding the incident began to take shape. Attorneys and publicists representing both Kirk and Jock reportedly convened, assessing potential criminal charges, civil liabilities, and public relations strategies. The complexity of the situation, combining elements of personal betrayal, physical assault, and intense public scrutiny, required careful navigation, particularly given the high-profile nature of everyone involved. Friends of Kirk described a tense environment at the hospital. The ICU became a revolving door of visitors, co-stars, close friends, and concerned family members, each bringing their own emotional energy into an already charged atmosphere. Some reportedly broke down in tears alongside Rasheeda, unable to witness Kirk's suffering without succumbing to their own grief and frustration. Others attempted to maintain composure, offering strategic advice, emotional support, or simply standing as a presence of solidarity in a scene dominated by fear, uncertainty, and the lingering echoes of the attack. As the day progressed, additional layers of drama unfolded. Reports emerged suggesting that the conflict between Kirk and Jock had roots deeper than anyone had previously known. Allegations of professional sabotage, personal betrayals, and jealous rivalries painted a picture of tension and resentment that had been carefully hidden from the public eye. These revelations only intensified speculation and debate, adding historical context to an event that had already captured widespread attention. Rasheeda's role as both caregiver and public figure added an emotional dimension that was difficult to navigate. She reportedly balanced private despair with public poise, providing updates, answering inquiries, and attempting to control the narrative, all while processing the shock of seeing her partner injured in such a violent manner. Her dual role as a figure of empathy and a focal point for fan attention amplified the stakes, making every action and emotion intensely scrutinized. The ripple effects extended beyond the immediate family and friends. Co-stars from the reality series expressed shock, issuing statements of concern and solidarity, while also speculating on how the incident might influence the direction of upcoming episodes. Some suggested the show might temporarily halt filming to allow Kirk time to recover, while others debated whether the real-life drama could or should be incorporated into the narrative, a tactic that would be both ethically complex and dramatically compelling. Fans continued to dissect every detail. Video snippets, social media posts, and eyewitness accounts became fodder for intense online debate. Some focused on the immediate physical and emotional impact, others on the possible long-term consequences for relationships, careers, and personal reputations. Amid this swirl of speculation, the human element remained at the core. The pain, fear, and heartbreak experienced by Kirk and Rasheeda were tangible, resonating with audiences who were emotionally invested in the unfolding saga. As the hours stretched on, the story continued to evolve. More witnesses came forward, offering varying accounts that added complexity and intrigue to the narrative. Some described Jock's approach as calculated and deliberate, while others claimed it was impulsive, the result of a sudden, uncontrollable emotional flare-up. The truth seemed elusive, layered with rumor, perception, and emotional bias, each interpretation adding to the drama and uncertainty. Emotional intensity remained high within Kirk's support network. Family members debated every course of action, from legal recourse to media strategy, while friends offered emotional and logistical support. Every decision carried weight, as public scrutiny magnified even the smallest gestures or statements. The dynamics of trust, loyalty, and perception became central concerns, reflecting the intertwined personal and professional stakes of the situation. Meanwhile, Jock's camp reportedly struggled with public perception, internal conflict, and the consequences of the attack. Some sources suggested that he expressed remorse privately, though publicly he maintained a more defensive posture. The duality of defiance and regret only served to deepen intrigue, leaving fans and media outlets eager for further statements or revelations. As the story progressed, emotional stakes intertwined with practical considerations. Kirk's recovery required not only medical attention but also emotional support, privacy, and careful management of public interest. Rasheeda's role became increasingly challenging, balancing her personal grief with her responsibilities to Kirk, their family, and a fan base intensely invested in the drama. The unfolding narrative became a multi-layered saga, blending elements of personal pain, betrayal, media spectacle, and legal complexity. Each new revelation, rumor, or eyewitness account added to the tension, creating a sense of ongoing suspense and uncertainty. The human dimension, the raw emotions, fractured relationships, and personal stakes remained central to the story, ensuring that public interest stayed high and the emotional impact remained palpable. Part 3 begins to hint at legal ramifications, lingering family tensions, and potential confrontations as the fallout continues, leaving fans and insiders alike questioning how the saga will ultimately unfold. The tension surrounding Kirk Frost's hospitalization showed no signs of easing. As the days unfolded, with each moment bringing new twists, emotional confrontations, and an unrelenting media frenzy. Inside the ICU, Kirk's condition stabilized, but the physical and emotional toll of young Jock's attack remained profound. Rasheeda stayed relentlessly by his side, her presence a mixture of fierce protection and visible heartbreak. Friends close to the couple describe her pacing the hallways, clutching her phone, and constantly checking updates from medical staff, her tears flowing freely yet her determination never wavering. "He's going to pull through," she reportedly told a hospital nurse, her voice resolute despite the tremors of fear beneath it. Outside the hospital, the atmosphere was electric, with paparazzi and fans congregating, trying to catch glimpses of the unfolding drama. Social media became a vortex of speculation, leaked rumors, and conflicting narratives. Some claimed they had insider knowledge of Jock's motives, while others tried to piece together timelines and events leading up to the violent confrontation. The story had evolved from a shocking incident into a full-blown spectacle, captivating audiences worldwide, who were desperate to understand every detail. Meanwhile, Kirk's family grappled with a storm of emotions. Some members expressed outrage at Jock branding his actions as calculated and unforgivable, while others quietly questioned whether underlying tensions between Kirk and Jock might have contributed to the escalation. Heated phone calls, text messages, and even face-to-face confrontations reportedly occurred behind closed doors, further straining relationships that had previously appeared stable. Rasheeda's emotional state became a focal point for both the media and fans. Sources revealed that she alternated between moments of intense vulnerability and determined resilience. She posted carefully curated updates to social media, expressing gratitude for fan support, while privately struggling to cope with the trauma of witnessing her partner's life hang in the balance. Eyewitnesses described moments where Rasheeda's grief was palpable, sobs that couldn't be contained, hands shaking as she held Kirk's, and whispered words of desperation meant only for him. In parallel, young Jock's camp experienced its own turbulence. Some insiders suggested that he wrestled with guilt privately, while publicly maintaining a defensive and defiant stance. The duality of his position only fueled further speculation, with fans and media outlets dissecting every comment, appearance, and cryptic post for clues about his intentions and state of mind. The legal dimension of the situation began to take shape as attorneys representing Kirk initiated consultations regarding possible criminal charges, restraining orders, and civil claims. Publicists on both sides worked tirelessly to manage messaging, attempting to navigate the delicate balance of protecting their clients' reputations while also addressing the intense public scrutiny. Meanwhile, co-stars and industry peers weighed in, some offering statements of support, others speculating on long-term ramifications. The impact of the attack extended into the professional realm. Producers of Kirk's reality TV projects reportedly debated whether to pause filming, adjust storylines, or incorporate the real-life drama into upcoming episodes. Each decision carried both ethical and dramatic implications, raising questions about how far reality television could go in blurring the lines between real-life trauma and entertainment. Fans remained captivated, dissecting every available detail. Clips from the altercation, social media posts, and eyewitness accounts were analyzed repeatedly, fueling theories about long-simmering rivalries, personal betrayals, and the chain of events that culminated in the shocking attack. Some argued that Jock had acted out of jealousy over Kirk's success, while others suggested the incident was purely spontaneous, a tragic explosion of emotion with no premeditated intent. Rasheeda's role remained central to the unfolding drama. While she navigated the emotional upheaval, she also became a public figure of resilience, her actions closely watched and commented on by fans and media alike. Her ability to balance vulnerability with strength became emblematic of the personal stakes involved. amplifying the narrative and keeping public attention fixed on her and Kirk's journey through the crisis. As days passed, more witnesses came forward, offering conflicting accounts that added layers of complexity to the story. Some described Jock's behavior as increasingly erratic in the lead-up to the attack, suggesting that tensions had been simmering for months. Others insisted that Kirk had been entirely unaware of any threat, making the incident an unforeseeable tragedy. The truth, like so much in reality TV drama, seemed elusive and multifaceted. With every new perspective reshaping the narrative, emotional stakes continued to escalate. Friends and family found themselves navigating volatile conversations, heated arguments, and tense negotiations as they attempted to manage the fallout. Some expressed frustration at the relentless media scrutiny, others at perceived betrayals or failures to prevent the attack, and still others at the overwhelming emotional weight of supporting Kirk and Rasheeda through the crisis. Social media amplified every aspect of the drama. Posts, hashtags, and viral clips spread rapidly, allowing fans to participate in the narrative in real time. Some offered support, while others criticized decisions made by Kirk, Rasheeda, or even the medical team. The public's emotional investment became a force unto itself, influencing perceptions, amplifying tensions, and keeping the story in constant motion. Meanwhile, young Jock's position remained complicated. Sources claimed he struggled with a combination of guilt, defensiveness, and public pressure. Statements from his camp alternated between acknowledgement of the incident and attempts to mitigate responsibility, creating a volatile narrative that further fueled public debate and speculation. The interplay of personal emotion, legal strategy, and public perception created a high-stakes environment that kept every participant on edge. Within the ICU, Kirk's recovery became a central focus. Doctors monitored his condition closely, and his emotional resilience was tested as much as his physical strength. Rasheeda, ever present, became a stabilizing force, offering comfort, reassurance, and unwavering support, her dedication resonating with fans and amplifying the human dimension of the story. The ripple effects continued outside the hospital. Co-stars, friends, and family engaged in intense discussions, strategizing about next steps, potential public statements, and the management of relationships strained by the incident. Conflicts arose, alliances shifted, and the once stable network surrounding Kirk became a web of competing priorities, emotions, and loyalties. Social media speculation persisted, fueled by leaked details, eyewitness reports, and cryptic posts from those close to the situation. The public became increasingly invested in questions of accountability, motive, and consequence, dissecting every development for insight into the motivations and personalities of those involved. As the days stretched on, the narrative grew increasingly complex. Questions about Jock's intentions, Kirk's prior awareness, and the dynamics of personal relationships intertwined with legal considerations and media scrutiny. Every new detail added to the tension, keeping fans engaged and the drama alive. The human toll remained palpable. Rasheeda's grief, Kirk's vulnerability, and the emotional strain on family and friends painted a vivid portrait of a community in crisis. With each passing day, the stakes grew higher. Decisions about public statements, potential legal action, and media engagement became increasingly fraught. While personal relationships strained under the pressure of scrutiny and fear, the incident had transformed from a single violent act into a multifaceted saga encompassing emotion, public spectacle, and the intricate web of human relationships. Begins as the story moves toward potential legal confrontations, public reckonings, and the emotional climax of the drama, setting the stage for a resolution or at least the next shocking twist in the ongoing saga of Kirk Frost, Rasheeda, and young Jock. The saga of Kirk Frost, young Jock, and Rasheeda has left fans breathless, hearts heavy, and social media buzzing with speculation, empathy, and outrage. As Kirk continues his recovery, the questions remain: how will this shocking attack impact his personal life, his relationship with Rasheeda, and his career in the reality TV spotlight? What consequences will young Jock face for his actions, both legally and in the court of public opinion? And perhaps most poignantly, how will Rasheeda navigate the emotional aftermath of witnessing her partner's suffering and grappling with the betrayal, fear, and heartbreak that this incident has caused? Fans are desperate for answers, and your voice matters in this unfolding drama. We want to hear what you think about the incident, the motives behind it, and the future of these reality TV figures. Did Jock act out of jealousy, anger, or a deeper, personal grudge? How should Kirk respond as he heals, both physically and emotionally. And can Rasheeda find the strength to move forward amidst the intense public scrutiny and personal trauma? Drop your thoughts, theories, and opinions in the comments below, because your perspective adds a new layer to this ongoing story. Don't forget to hit that like button if you were shocked by the events. Subscribe for all the latest updates on Kirk, Jock, Rasheeda, and more explosive reality TV drama. And turn on notifications so you're the first to know when new developments come to light. The story is far from over, and the next chapter could be even more shocking, emotional, and dramatic than anything we've seen so far. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and join the conversation, because in the world of reality TV, the drama never truly ends, and every voice counts.